It is July 22nd, 2025, and I'm Deb Floros. I'm here today for another Beadaholique Live Class, and I'm so glad that all of you are joining me. We're doing these little fun shows while we sadly watch Beadaholique sell off all of its merchandise because they are closing. But we are having fun. We're going to have fun until the doors close. So I'm grateful that you all want to celebrate this as well. Just let's celebrate it out. We know it's going to happen, so let's just have fun while it's happening. Hi, Eric. Thanks for being here. Hello, Tanya. Good morning, everybody, and good afternoon. Let me know who's out there, who's here. Hi, Patricia. So again, it is July 22nd, which is hard to believe, but it's July 22nd. So as of right now, the Beadaholique closing sale is at 30% off. So 30% off of all the things, everything, all the things. No coupon code needed, no special anything. Just go to the site. You'll see everything is marked down 30%. And you can drop that stuff into your shopping cart. Hello, Barbara from Montana and Almas from Texas. Oh, Cindy's here from Pasadena, Texas as well. Aw, Julie P., thank you so much. Hi. Candace is here from Georgia. Michelle is here. Hi, Michelle. J&T is also here from Montana. So we got some Montana people, some Texas. Here's another one. Sandy says she loves these classes. She's here from Beaumont, Texas. All right, we're covering multiple states so far, and I know Julie P is in Arizona, like me. Hello, everybody. We've got a fun class today. As I was saying, we are at 30% off for Beadaholique.com's closing sale. So I would suggest, because I've been doing some checking out of the site, things are selling down. So if there are products that you love from Beadaholique, don't miss the opportunity to get those home to you. I was searching for something a couple days ago and I'm like, I don't see that. So how am I going to get that? But guys, there are still things available. Lots of beautiful beads, lots of supplies. We're going to work with some today. Let's see who else is here. Tara says it's been a long time. She's joining from Texas. Hi, Tara. Heidi Caldwell. She's here from Idaho. Heidi Ho from Idaho. I love that. Fern is here. Your shirt makes me think of hibiscus beads. Yeah, I've got a little bit of a floral vibe going here today. Ms. Joey says hello from NC. Tilly is here. Hello, Tilly. Dina is here from Hampton, Virginia. Patricia says she also loves Beadaholique. We all do. That's why we're here. Mary's here from Florida. Ruby's here. Hi. Marianne is here from South Alabama. We are covering all of the country. And I'm sure that we're going to get some others to join this morning. So I'm today going to be teaching a class on crocheting with beads. Now, for those of you who are looking for that very intricate seed beading of bead crochet, that's not what I'm doing. I'm sorry, but we're doing a very bohemian vibe crochet today. So a crochet chain stitch, and we're going to add beads to it. Now, this is something, let's see, I learned to crochet when I was a kid. My mom used to crochet. She made the Afghans. We had all of the like 70s vibes, colors of all of our Afghans around the house. And I learned from my mom, and I maybe made like pot holders and stuff like that. I never made like an Afghan or a blanket or anything. But I started crocheting with beads probably back in like 2008, maybe 2009. And I found that to be really fun. And I used to make these really long chains with beads. and I would wear them wrapped around my neck several times, and I'd have this drapey look going on. And I, lately have just had this on the brain. So when I was seeing all of the cording that was available at Beadaholique.com and all of the check glass beads that are available, I think we should make some fun bohemian things, and we can talk about ideas that go along with that. So let's talk about shopping the show first of all. So if you're watching at Beadaholique.com/live, that's the best place to watch this show, because I can say hi to you. I can see that Fern knows about granny squares. Tilly doesn't crochet, but her aunt does. So I can see these things because folks are in the live show at Beadaholique.com. So if you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook, come on over, because we can see your comments over here and we can chit chat. You can share the love. I just saw a heart float by. You can click on that heart icon and tell us what you love. And you can shop the show. So I've put in the show today a few things. Crochet hooks. So Beadaholique.com carries amazing crochet hooks, most of them from Tulip, which is a company out of Japan. And they have amazing quality, beautiful, beautiful crochet hooks. There's some kits. There's some really cool crochet hooks. Dina, I'm a lefty too, so I'm going to be teaching as a lefty. So Dina, if you're looking, don't leave, Dina, because hopefully I can help you out. And hopefully I won't mess up all the right-handed people. But anyways, if you are watching at Beadaholique.com, as I said, you'll be able to shop the show. So in the shopping bag icon that's on your screen, you will see all of these amazing crochet hook sets. So those are in there. I don't have any of those on hand. I thought I had some, I don't. So I've got my own, but I've also got one that's in the Beadaholique.com shopping bag as well. So I've got lots of fire polish beads, I've got some seed beads, and I've got some cording that we're going to work with as well. So I'll show you all of that in just a minute. So you will want to, yes, Paula, the same company that makes Tulip needles. Yes, they have so many fun things. So they've got some amazing crochet hooks, really high quality. Dina says, I'm not going to leave. I'm going to be stuck like glue. Great. Okay. Dina's staying. Okay, good. So shopping the show. In that shopping bag, if you click on that at any time during the show, you don't have to leave the show. You will stay right here. I'll get smaller on the screen, but you can check out the product specifications and you can load them into your shopping cart. Some of the items are obviously low stock because the store is closing. But what I'll encourage you to do is, if you want those things and you want to get them home to you, make sure you check out before the end of the show so somebody doesn't swipe those things right out from under you. So that's how it works. If you're on YouTube or Facebook, come on over because we're going to have some fun. But we would love for you to watch wherever you watch from. So I'm going to flip my camera down. Let's get started. So this is on my table, kind of what you might expect from a basic crochet class. So we're going to talk about the basics, and I'm going to start with showing you the basics. Then I'm going to get into the products and start actually working with the products that we're talking about today. So really all you need for a crochet project is something to crochet. So I've got, for our starter, some yarn. This is from my stash. It's a pretty small yarn. And you need a crochet hook. And I'm going to use one of these old-fashioned aluminum crochet hooks. Everybody probably has one of these in their craft room. And a pair of scissors. And maybe some glue. We'll talk about that in a little bit. So let's start with the basics. And I just want to show you the very first thing that you'll need to do when you're getting ready to start a crochet project. So I'm gonna pull some of my yarn out. Let me get this camera situated a little bit better. Hi, Kathleen. So I'm gonna pull some cord and we're gonna make a chain like this. This is kind of wonky because I was playing around with this, but we're gonna make a chain, but we're gonna add beads to it. And that's gonna give you lots of opportunity to do fun things. So the very first thing you're gonna want to do to start a project is do a slip knot. And a slip knot can be used in a lot of different ways for lots of different things. The way I do it is I take the end and I will create a little bit of a loop like this. And then I'm gonna take the yarn and I'm gonna put it up through the loop and I'm gonna pull. And it's going to create a knot that slips. So I'll show you how it slips if you pull on your yarn. So you're gonna create that little slip knot, okay? Just like that. I'll show you again, and you can pull it out because it's meant to kind of be movable. So I'll show you again. I'm gonna take, here's the end of my yarn. Here's the working part of my yarn. I'm gonna create a loop here, and then I'm gonna take that working piece, I'm gonna pull it into another loop, and it's creating a loop, and then I can pull this down. And what you'll do when you get to, let me get this situated, when you get to a smaller loop is you can come in with your crochet hook and you'll want to make it a smaller loop like that. So what I suggest to folks is if you have never crocheted before, if this is your first experience or you're gonna try after this show today, practice with yarn. So this is why I'm showing you this yarn. This is not available at beadaholique.com, but I wanted to show you this first. This is what I suggest. Grab some scrap yarn or some yarn from your stash and just play with this because it's very forgiving. And I think it's a little bit easier to crochet with than what we're going to do today. So I thought that I would show you with just some yarn. And here's what I like to catch myself with first. So I have a long tail here. So this is probably too long, doesn't have to be that long, but you're gonna be working with the yarn that is on this, on your skein or whatever material is. So you want that to be off to the side. And I like to pull some out so that there's a lot available for me. And I'm going to try and get a nice shot here. Now, I have sometimes started crocheting with the tail. That is my Achilles heel. I can't help but sometimes crochet with that. So I'm going to come up, and I am left-handed. So if you were right-handed, you would just do this in the opposite hand. It's the same thing. You don't do the technique any differently just because you are left or right-handed. So here's what I've got. I've got the working yarn in my right hand, and I've got the tail over here down. And I've got my loop there around the crochet hook. I'm going to take my crochet hook and I'm going to kind of go behind the yarn. So get up a little bit closer and show you. I'm going to take that behind and I'm going to catch it on the hook and I'm going to pull it. And it's always hard. The first couple of stitches are really hard. I'm going to pull it down through the loop. And we've just made our first stitch. Then I'm going to come in and grab with the hook again. I'm going to go behind the yarn. And if your loop is if it gets too tight, you just push it down onto your crochet hook. And I'm going to go down into that loop and I've created another stitch. And I'm going to go a little bit faster here, maybe. It's harder to do this on camera. So then I'm just grabbing it and I'm pulling it down through the loop. And Susan J says she is also left-handed. So I'm your left-handed girl. So these aren't perfect stitches, but you see it's making a little bit of a chain. And this project, I mean, this little, chain stitch is most of the time done with yarn. And most of the time it is done, it's done to start any kind of a project, any kind of crochet project. So I am not a crochet expert, but I can do a chain stitch. So look how pretty that little chain stitch is. This is cute yarn. I mean, it's got some flecks of metallic in it. So that's, you're just grabbing behind the yarn and twisting your crochet hook down and into the loop. So here I'm just grabbing it and I'm helping with my fingers and I'm taking it down through the loop, grabbing it again, going down through the loop, and so on and so on and so on. So here we've got, just in a couple of minutes, a little bit of a chain stitch. So that's the basics to get us started. So I'm also going to go through this same exercise with the other material we're going to work with, but I thought I would show you with this basic stuff. So with some yarn, with a good old fashioned, crochet hook, aluminum crochet hook. This is, by the way, a 4.0 millimeters. So this is a little bit larger than what we're going to be using for the other material we're going to work with. So that's that. So let me set that aside. Let me find a place to set that aside. I forgot to set up my other little table here. So I'm going to show you how we're going to work with some other materials. So Amite thread. This is a polyester, 100% polyester product made by Toho. And I gotta say, I was introduced to this about maybe a year and a half ago. This is an amazing product. This is beading thread. I use this thread for so many things. So if you follow me, if you've seen me in other places, you may have seen me use this cording for other projects. So I've used this for macrame. I've used this for knotting, and I've used it for basic stringing. So I've got a bunch of this in the shopping bag for you, and it comes in some amazing, beautiful colors. So just to give you some ideas, this gray is a nice neutral. To me, it's more of a taupey gray. So it's nice and neutral, great with all different, neutral tones and color, pops of color. Brown is great as well. Is this one actually called brown? I don't have the name of this color, but it is a brown color, also very excellent for this kind of a project. So there's all kinds of cool crochet projects out there in the world, crochet jewelry out there in the world that uses more of these brown tones and neutrally toned. So these kinds of colors. So we've got those. There's also this amazing emerald green. I've used this for, I think I may have done a Beadaholique YouTube project using some of this, weaving this through chain. And this is a lovely shade of green. I mean, really beautiful, just a gorgeous deep emerald green. And then this color is lilac, and this is so lovely. So I'm just crazy about Amite cord. This is something that we will work with today. I'll also show you some other cord options. So you can also use Eslon. So Eslon is similar. I would say Eslon has a little bit of a different feel to it. So I've got a few samples. I think I was able to put different colors in the shopping bag. But I've got this beautiful darker purple color here. I think this one is called, I'm actually not sure what this one is called, but this is a beautiful purple color. So it's a little bit different vibe than the lilac. This is like my favorite. So this is like this neon pink, which is so crazy cool. And then this is like a mauve, like a antique rose kind of color. Fern, I see your question, do either need to be waxed? No, for crochet, I would not wax them. You don't need to be worried about the ends because we're not working with the ends here. So this is just like working with the material. Did you sell, Eslon in neon colors? I don't know if, Michelle, I'm not sure if I put this pink in or if this was available. And I'm not sure if it came in other neon colors. I'm not aware of any other neons, but here are some cords that I've got in the show today, and we're going to work with this. Now, this is going to feel and look very different than the yarn. So let me find my little yarn sample here. So you see, we've got some really kind of chunky knots here. Even though this is very thin yarn, pretty chunky, you're not getting a lot of space. You're not getting a lot of air seeing through the yarn. With this cording, you could have some pretty different looks. So I'm going to show you first of all a sample. So let me show you this. So this is a really long chain. So this is using the Eslon, and I did some really big chain stitches here. So you're seeing through the chain stitches here. When do you need to wax cording? So you would not need it for crochet, but you might need to wax cording for like needle and thread type projects. So maybe some seed bead projects, that kind of thing. I've never worked with I've never done a project where I've needed to wax this cord. It's pretty good on its own. You might need to wax like wildfire or fireline or something like that. So this is with the Eslon, and this is the kind of thing, it's a super long chain, and I've tied it together. And what you can do with this is wear this as a very long necklace and double it up, or wear it just as a long necklace. Or, my friends, check out this. So I love the look of this. So I've got some fire polish beads on here, and I'm going to put this on, and that last wrap might need a little bit of finessing to get on, but then once you get it on, you just kind of use your finger, and look at how fun this bracelet is. So this is gorgeous with these fire polish. So this fire polish bead is a 4mm, it's a round white, like an opalite look. And so we just put all of these on. Oh, you could wear it as glasses, chains. Yes, thank you for the hearts, you guys. This is fun. So this is going to match my outfit. So I've got on this fun wrap. So you can grab a color, grab some beads, and you can make some of this chain, and you can wear it as a necklace or wear it as this cool wrap bracelet. You could make it longer and have more wraps. You can make it shorter and have less wraps. I wish I could tell you the actual dimensions that you need, but this is a little bit of kind of figuring out what you need, because you can use different size beads. You can use different shapes of beads. You can do all different kinds of things. So it's going to depend on how long you want something, how many beads you want to add in, and how many beads, how many stitches between the beads. There's so many variables here. So you'll have to kind of play around, and it's fun to practice this. And the cool thing about crochet, I should show you this on my yarn piece. So on my yarn piece, where is it? Here it is. On my yarn piece that I started, I can just pull it right out. I just made those stitches disappear. So until you knot it and tie it off, you can start over. So you can play around, practice, and then you can adjust however you would like. So let me show you a few other things. I'm crazy. So I picked some of this up to try it out. I would not recommend this as a thread to work with for crochet, but if you get really good at it and you get a really tiny crochet hook, you may want to use this size AA beading thread. This is tiny. I actually played around a little bit. I started to work with it. It's tiny. So maybe some micro crochet. I put some of that in the shopping bag just in case you want to go crazy, but this is also great for needle and thread projects. So a couple different colors in there of that. And then let me show you another sample. We're actually going to do a little more crochet, I promise. So this is a sample with some amite thread, and this sample has seed beads. So this is 2 different colors of size 11 seed beads. And it is on this gray amite cord, which looks a little more tan or beige here. And what I did here was I made this as a ring. So this is crazy. So this could be a bracelet, but it could also be a ring. So wrapping it around, and then I put beads on the ends and just created this little kind of fun end to the piece. And then, you know, we've got this fun little crochet ring. So it's very bohemian, very interesting and unique and fun. And you can use whatever beads you would like. These beads, these seed beads are gorgeous. I would grab these if I were you, because these are great colors for any season. So they are some green and purple. Actually, these are size 8s. I'm sorry. Yeah, these are 8s. They're not 11s. So these are 8s, and there is a semi-glazed olive and a semi-glazed lavender. These are both available. They're in your shopping bag. You can drop them in your shopping cart. These are gorgeous, rich colors. So you see, they just add just they're a fun combination together. And then with that amite thread, they're really, really cool. So I'm crazy about those beads. I'm going to show you a couple more samples of what we're doing. So this one I actually started playing with, and I actually cut it too short to tie it. But look at these beads. So these are gorgeous beads. These are another fire polish beads, and these are larger. These are 6 millimeter, and they're a 2-tone. They've got like a purple and a blue, and I put them on that amite cord, the lilac amite. So this is another kind of thing where you could do a wrap. So I didn't tie it together, but I could still tie it off. So this one has, you know, it's shorter, so it's a smaller wrap. And this could also be a shorter necklace too. So if I tie it up top or I attach a clasp to it, it can also be a really pretty necklace piece. So this is just a fun thing. One more sample. So this is probably my favorite. So I use some drop beads here. So these are check glass smooth teardrop beads. They are 9 by 6 millimeter, and they have a luminescent coating on it. They're like a purple with a bronzy coating. And then there are also some seed beads here in trios. And when I tightened up the cording a little bit, they actually almost look like a little picot. So this would be a fun bracelet, just a solo bracelet. Or what I want to do with this is I want to put this on as an anklet. I love the look of this, so this is really, really fun. So let's see. Terry says you used 3 bracelets in a single stitch. Tricky. 3 beads. Yeah, so not quite as tricky. Well, I can show that. I could show how we did that. Joanna's saying, is there a tutorial on how to make what you are showing right now? So no, but we can explore that. But we're going to do a little bit of tutorial right now. I want to show you those, those teardrop beads up close though, because they are super cool. Look at these. Oh my gosh. Super cool. So if you want to, you can use any shape. I mean, pretty much any shape is going to work. And you can use a larger size bead as well. So if you want to go with heavier cording, like heavy hemp cord or something, or even yarn, you can do yarn as well. So I thought today what we would do is we would pick some other beads. So I'm going to grab these white beads, and I think I'm going to use this green so that you can see it, because a darker color will probably be a little bit more visible. And then I think I'm going to use this fun shape. So I've got a lot of fire polish in the show. And then I've got these in the show. These are petal shaped beads. They're 8 by 6 millimeter. They are a super cool bead. So let's do some shapes and some seed beads, and I'll show you what that looks like. Now, one more thing that's in the show is this artistic wire crochet tool for wire crochet. Now, this is a steal even before the sale of 30% off. It comes with a little piece of wire, a needle, and a crochet hook. I'm going to use this to crochet with today. I had one of those. I did not have the tulip crochet hooks to work with, so we're going to work with this today. And this is a 2.5 millimeter crochet hook, and we're going to play with this. So I'm going to grab this little tray. I'm going to open this up, and we're going to play just a little bit to get a little design going. And then I need to put my seed beads into a tray as well. So let me grab some pliers, open this up. And so look at these. These are a size 8. Beautiful, lovely. So then I've got this, this emerald cording. Now, what you're going to do when you're working with beads is you need to string your beads on ahead of time. So I try to pull out the cording, and keep in mind that this cording has been on a card. So it's been wrapped around, so it is kind of shaped like the card. Over time, this is going to straighten out. It's going to soften up. I don't get too worried about that. And sometimes you can even hang it with something heavy, not super heavy, but a weight on it, and it will stretch itself out over time. So I'm going to string this cording on, and I'm going to do like 3 seed beads. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to crochet around those beads. And I'm just going to string on a pattern of these. And this is probably the meditative part of this process, or one of them, because I do think crochet is kind of meditative. You can, once you get going, you do need to pay attention to the beads, but if you're just doing a chain, it's super meditative, just meditative. So I wouldn't necessarily go with this combination of colors, but I kind of dig it in a weird way. It's kind of fun. But I want you to be able to see the cord and see the beads. So we should be able to see everything pretty good here when we're getting all these together. And I'm sorry if I'm missing comments, you guys, but I'm trying to get this on. I'll pop my head back up in a second. And we're putting on. So again, the pattern is up to you. And you'll have to play around with how many you need. So I did some digging around. Some of my favorite YouTubers out there that have done this kind of a project. One of them said if you want a multi-wrap bracelet like this, you would need about 360 inches of Eslon and 165 60 beads, so 60 seed beads. That is the only kind of recipe that I found. But of course, I'm using completely different beads and I'm using different cord. So every time you bring a variation into the mix, you're gonna have to adjust, you know, your sizing and how many and how long and all of that. So again, you know, it's so simple to pull out your project once you decide it's not what you're looking to do. Maybe it's not right. So, you know, you can test it out and play around and start with some scrap yarn like we did in the beginning of the show today. So I've got all of this cording loaded into the shopping bag. So if you want to click on that shopping bag and grab some of this cording, grab some beads. I put as many beads as I could into the show today without blowing up the application that that this video is done on. So so there's a lot of stuff out there on in the shopping bag, but if you go to beadaholique.com, there are certainly more beads available and more seed bead options. And I think there may even be some different colors of the cording versus what I have in the show today. So we're not going to make a full big wrap today, but we're going to make a bracelet. And once you start working with this, so see, someone asked about waxing. So I've been stringing on these beads without any wax. And after all of this, I'm starting to get a little bit of fraying. So what I do is I just come in and trim that off and I can just keep going. When I start with a large bead, I'm going to end with 3 seed beads because I want to tie this off and make it look like it's a continuous piece. So I've got all of my beads strung on. And hi, Debbie, thanks for being here. So I've got all of my beads strung onto my cord. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to move my beads out of, oops, see what I did? See, I was just going to say I'm going to move my beads out of the way so I don't spill them. Yeah. I can't go a day without spilling beads. I don't know about you guys, but I spend my day with beads and every day I spill beads. It just is, it's like variables. Like some days it's a lot of beads and some days it's only a few beads. So I'm going to unravel some more of my cording here. And I'm going to push these beads down a little bit, not too far. I don't want them to be too far away. And then I'm going to create another slip knot. So Joanna says she spills them every time. So remember your slip knot, you're going to create a loop like this, and you're going to come up around with the working cord, and you're going to pull a knot tight. And now you've got a slip knot that you can make short or make smaller, like so. And beads love gravity. Yes, they do. So now I've got my crochet hook here, and I'm going to drop that in to my my loop there, and the first few stitches are always the most challenging. Fern, yes, it's me or the cat. The first few stitches are always the most challenging. So I find that this cording especially is a little bit more challenging to get started. So my problem is I always end up crocheting the tail. So I'm going to make sure my tail is over here, and I'm going to come up. I'm going to do like 4 stitches to get me started before I start adding beads. So I'm going to wrap around, and I'm going to grab with the hook, maybe. I'm going to grab with the hook, and I think it's because my loop is a little bit small. So it's always hard to get started. So wrap around and pull that cord through the loop. And then we're going to wrap back around, twist your hook down into the loop, pull it through. You're going to grab back behind, and you're going to go down, twist, and go into that loop. And sometimes your loop is a little bit small. So if you find it's hard to get your needle down or your hook down through, you can always pull out. So I'm pulling the working cord with one finger and then pulling the tail with the other. So you can adjust and you can pull down onto your hook as you need to. I'm going to do one more. Oops. So this cording is pretty stiff. And that's, I think, what makes it a little bit more challenging to work with. That's why I suggest practice with your yarn so you can get a sense of how the action is of crochet, and then you can start working with this material that's a little bit tougher to work with. Okay, so that looks funky, doesn't look great, but it's going to be the end of our piece. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my trio of seed beads. Now with bead crochet, with crocheting beads, I should say, crocheting with beads, all you're going to do is act like they're not there. Now I know they're there, I see them, but this is what we're going to do. We're going to go around our cording here, and I'm going to get that hook, and I'm going to go down through, and I'm going to pull that tight. And now I've got a little picot there. And then I'm going to do, and I actually want to pull my loop out a little bit. I'm going to grab my cord, and I'm going to go back down. Oh, see, this cording is challenging. So let me get that situated. It is, and it's harder when you've got very little that you have started. So if you've only got a few stitches, it's just tough to get it going. You don't have a lot to have leverage with. Okay, so I did 3 stitches after that. Isn't that cute? So then I'm going to grab my next bead. So this is just a solo bead, just a funky petal-shaped bead. And I see it there, but I'm pretending it's not there. And I'm going to grab it, and I'm going to go down. Oh, I got to get my loop big enough. I'm going to go down through that loop and grab it again. Go down through the loop again. Let me get back into that loop and grab that again. Go down through that loop. And sometimes you might grab one of the strands of your cording. So see that? Look at that. So we've got 2 sections or 2 sets of beads. Let's see, this seems like a great project to use up some bead soup. 100% teen or terry. That is what I used to do when I was doing this back in the early 2000s. I would often just grab all different color beads and just crochet, just put them onto cording and create a fun piece. So showing you dropping the bead down again, and I'm going to go back around, pretend like it's not there, turn my hook. Oh gosh. Let me try that again. So this cording is tough to work with, but I love how it looks. So I'm willing to keep going. So I'm going to go back behind it, go down through my loop, and then get a few more stitches in between. And this is where like designing comes into play. So you can decide, do you want just a couple of stitches in between your beads? Do you want just one stitch in between your beads? Grab your pile of fire polish. So grab some fire polish, drop them in your cart, and get them home and open all the packages and just start picking some beautiful fire polish and pick 2 colors to use, pick 3 colors to use, pick 2 different sizes, pick 2 different shapes, pick 10 different shapes, 10 different sizes, 10 different colors. It's really fun to do, and you've got just a really bohemian fun project. Now this, I think, also could work as like friendship bracelets. So if you are making friendship bracelets, this is a fun friendship bracelet kind of gig. So you could do all kinds of fun things. Those letter beads would be fun. So lots of fun options. So that's what this looks like, you guys. So you've got just a fun, like kind of bohemian style piece with fun beads. I'm going to take a pause here. I'm going to show you a few other options of beads. So here's a beautiful bright green. So this is like a lime green. So look at the lime with like a gray or the lilac. Pretty color. This I thought was really cool. So this is a smaller bead. So similar to like a seed bead, this is going to create a different look because the beads are smaller. So this is a 3mm, and I think this is like a green iris. So you've got all those different shades. So that would actually look really great with our green here. Beautiful. Let me show you. Oh, and here's a cool thing. So I found these seed beads, and I thought this was a cool investment. So pick up these size 8s in galvanized blue gold, and you get like a variety pack here. So you get like a gold and a bronze and a silvery blue. So you get kind of like 3 colors in one here, and you can use these all together in a bracelet. So you could do something, something like this, or you could just use one color as your spacer, or as your kind of seed bead part of the project. So if you're doing something like this and you're adding some seed beads, this is a really fun one to do. Vicki, you're not late. You can always go back and watch this over again anytime. And we would love for you to watch from the beginning. Look at these. These are 4mm fire polish, and they are neon electric purple. Oh my goodness. With the lilac. Wow. Or with something super toned down. This color is just like so cool. I can't stop staring at this color. Like when I opened up this package, I couldn't stop staring at the color. It's so cool. Then let me show you a few more options in case you want to see what's in the bag a little closer. Look at these. These are crystals. So look at how these would look. So this would look like a really beautiful, almost vintagey vibe if you used this, this Eslon with this one. This is 4mm fire polish in crystal. Gorgeous beads. These are always the kind of beads you need in your stash. And then I dyed over this one, this strand. This is amazing. This is also 4mm. And it's like multicolored, so you could grab, again, your something colorful or something neutral. I love these two together. Really, this is another great strand. Like, string this all onto your cord and crochet it up, or pick the colors you want out of it and save the other colors for another project. And what about this one? What if you need some metallic? This is super cool. This is like crystal with a silver coating. So it's got like some crystal, some coating. The electric purple, yes, that electric purple is a matte. And it is such a cool bead. Oh my gosh, I'll show you again. Look at these. Wow. Yeah, I hear Christopher Walken saying wow when I see these. I'm a terrible, I do terrible impressions. My husband always laughs at me. Okay, these are cool. These are 6mm. These are also a matte. They're fire polished and they are the coolest. So they have that kind of satiny vibe to them. Super, super cool. All right, just a few more and then we'll do a little bit more of our project here. What about melon beads? So the melon shape is fun. These are iris brown melons and they are, I'm not sure. Oh, 5mm. These are 5mm and these would be so cool on a crochet project because they will add that little texture. And when you do anything with this iris, there's so many different colors involved. You just get a really cool look to them. Few more, you guys. This is also 4mm, and this color is light amethyst. So this has like an AB vibe to it. Oh my goodness, so pretty. So this one on a light cord or even on a dark cord. Look at how this would look on this Eslon. Really cool. And then this is one of my favorite fire polish beads. This is a light rose and it's 4mm. Look at that color. Look at that sparkle and flash. Put this on just a cool neutral cord and those beads will tell this whole story. I mean, they're just gorgeous. All right, a few more. This one, another kind of neutrally metallic. Look at this. This is metallic bronze, 4mm. 4mm is a great size for this kind of a bracelet. These are all 4mm beads on this wrap. So you could do these and put it on this neutral cord and you've got like almost an elegant looking bracelet. Two more, I promise, two more. This one is smaller. This is a 3mm bronze. And that is just so cool. So if you wanted to do that ring, the ring size piece, wrap it around your finger, the 3mm fire polish would be great. And then this is the last one is 4mm. Look at these. Oh my goodness. I forgot about these. This is so cool. This looks like a party right here. Oh my gosh. So this is cool. So these are some of the options that you've got Those are all in the shopping bag. So drop those into your cart, guys, and get some of those home and then start crocheting. So let's go back. I'll show you one more round. So I'm in my last loop, and you can always set this down, pick it back up, make sure you've got your working side of your cord. You're going to come around and grab that cord. You're going to twist and pull it down through that loop. And I'm going to go back behind it again, grab it, go down into maybe. My loop was a little bit too small. Sometimes it's going to be too small and you'll have to start over. So then let me pull my next bead down, let it drop down, and you're just going to pretend like it's not there. Just going to keep doing the same thing. And my loop is not big enough. It's hard for me to get started again. So let's see, get it into that loop. Come on now, my loop's not big enough. And go down, there we go. And then just do some stitches in between, like so, like so, like so. Let's do another set of our seed beads. And then I'll show you how I would finish this, even though we're not gonna finish it, but I'll show you how to finish it and make it what you want to make it, either a bracelet or a necklace or whatever. So we're going to take those beads, and then I'm going to pull my cord to make sure those beads are nice and tight. Then I'm going to open up the next loop, go behind, grab it, go back down through, go back down through, go back, oops, go back down. And I will also say, working with a small crochet hook, if you are used to working with a bigger crochet hook, that can be challenging too. So I'm gonna pretend like we're done here, because we are getting to the top of the hour. So I'm gonna pretend like we're done. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to cut a tail. So let me set that here. I'm gonna grab my scissors, cut my tail, and I'm gonna take my crochet hook out. Cheryl, yes, I am left-handed. So I've got a loop left here, and I'm gonna take my tail and I'm gonna put my my tail through that loop, and I'm gonna pull it tight. So I've now got a knot at both ends of my piece. So let's pretend this is our bracelet, and it looks wonky, guys, because the cording A is on a card, but it also just is wonky because you've been manipulating it. So this is going to stretch out over time, and you can see when you put it on, it doesn't look wonky. So let's say we've got multiple long piece. What I do is I just come in and I want to tie this together. So I've got space here where I'm going to tie this together, and I want to join it where the two knots are. And I've got a lot of cord here. So I'm just going to tie a knot and bring that together. And I'm going to tie another knot. And this is going to make this look seamless. So what I like to do is this could hold, but what I like to do is drop on, and Michelle, or Eric, I did not put this in the show. I thought of this as I was getting ready. I like GS Hypo Cement for anything that is cording. I do not use E6000. It's too stiff. GS Hypo Cement is nice and fluid, and it gets into the grooves. So when you open this up, you're just going to tap it very lightly so that it will drop into your threads and that knot. and I let this sit for a while, probably, overnight or, a few hours at least. And then you can cut your ends, and you can either cut them and fray them out if you would like. So I'm a big frayer. I often like to fray my ends of macrame projects. I'll show you that in 1 second. But you could cut them right up against the knot, and then you've got a continuous bracelet. And this is gonna be a solo bracelet. You can also add dangles like we did here. So you could add some beads. Here's some fraying here. So I just did a little fraying of the ends and I added beads. So you could do that, or you could just literally leave it like this, and you've got a really fun little boho bracelet. I especially love just this wrap look. This is so much fun and so great to work with. I'll also show you, if you are a macrame fan, these earrings, this project is on Beadaholique.com's YouTube channel. And this was probably one of my most popular projects that I did. And this is with amite cord. So this is with this exact cording right here and size 11 seed beads. And I did some fraying at the bottom. These are super boho. So if you are picking up some amite cord today, I would get several of these. And you can use this not only for crochet, but you could use it also for macrame. So if you like macrame, this is another great cording for macrame. So I'm gonna flip the camera up, you guys. I hope that at least gave you guys some inspiration to try. We didn't finish the project, but I wanted to teach you the basics and get some things in front of you that will enable you to make a fun little crochet bracelet, or a crochet necklace, or a crochet ring. We did a ring too. Let me put that one on too, because that's going to match my outfit also. So I hope that you guys will try that out. And don't forget to close out those carts. Finish your transaction that you started, because things are going fast here at Beadaholique.com. So we don't want you to miss out on all the fun things that you can get your hands on. This cording is going away. All of these beads are going away. So I hope that you will give this a try. Do a little bit of crochet practice and let everybody know what you think about this. So next week, let me know if you gave this a try, or if you've got some of these products on the way to you so that you can give it a try. Close out those carts, you guys. Don't forget that Julie will be back on Thursday for her next Beadaholique Live Class. And she'll be back again on Monday, and I'll be here again next Tuesday. We appreciate you guys. Vicki, yes, you can use Eslon as well for macrame. I've done that as well. I should have said that. Yes, you can also use Eslon for macrame. So I'll see you guys next week. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Go and make some fun things and get some of these fun products on their way to you. I will see you soon, guys. Have a great week. Bye, everybody.